For many years, a social researcher quietly studied the daily lives of more than 500 women who worked in the sex industry. His goal was not to judge them or discuss morals. He wanted to understand one question that many men think about but rarely get honest answers to: what truly creates female attraction? What he discovered was uncomfortable for some people. It challenged the popular idea that attraction grows because someone is kind, patient, or says the right things. Instead, the evidence showed something very different. Desire did not follow effort. It did not respond to good intentions. It followed forces that work quietly in the background, outside conscious control. In 2007, a major scientific study brought this idea into the spotlight. A research team led by evolutionary psychologist Jeffrey Miller analyzed over 5,000 work shifts of professional dancers. The results were striking. When women were in the most fertile part of their cycle, their earnings increased noticeably. When they were not, their income dropped. Women using hormonal birth control showed no such changes at all. What mattered most was this: nothing else changed. The women did not act differently, they did not dress differently or behave more warmly. The men did not know what was happening. Yet attraction clearly shifted. Something invisible was shaping desire without anyone being aware of it. Many men dismiss findings like this. They believe real-life attraction must work differently. They trust that personality, intelligence, honesty, or effort will eventually overcome biology. But that belief may be misleading. Another respected researcher, David Buss, spent decades studying attraction across nearly 40 cultures. His work revealed that the foundations of female desire are deeply rooted, largely unconscious, and surprisingly consistent around the world. People respond to signals they were never taught to recognize and often cannot explain. This is not about blaming women or encouraging bitterness. It is about understanding reality. Attraction does not operate like a discussion or a reward system. You cannot argue your way into it. You cannot earn it through intention alone. Attraction happens before words are spoken, before effort is noticed. The body reacts first, long before the mind creates reasons. Until that silent language is understood, many people will continue feeling confused when results do not match their actions. This is not a moral lesson, it is a biological one, and understanding it changes everything. Chapter 1: The Hidden Flow of Attraction. Have you ever been confused by how dating can suddenly change without warning? One moment, everything feels natural. Conversations flow. She laughs easily. She seems interested and engaged. Then, without any clear reason, something shifts. Replies take longer. Her energy feels distant. The warmth you felt before slowly fades away. When this happens, most men immediately turn inward. They replay conversations in their mind. They search for mistakes. They wonder which message, joke, or reaction caused things to go wrong. The truth, however, is often uncomfortable. Nothing went wrong at all. There may be no mistake to fix. What changed was not your behavior, but the biological moment in which you were being perceived. Attraction is not steady or predictable. It does not grow in a straight line. It moves in cycles, rising and falling like waves. And most men are never taught that timing plays a larger role than effort when it comes to desire. For decades, scientists studying human attraction have uncovered a pattern that challenges modern dating advice. Female desire is not constant. It does not remain the same from week to week or even day to day. Instead, it naturally shifts due to internal biological rhythms that operate outside conscious control. A man can act the same way, say the same things, and show the same interest, yet receive completely different responses depending on when he appears. This does not mean women are being confusing on purpose. It is not manipulation or emotional games, it is the body quietly influencing perception. Large-scale studies show that during certain phases of the menstrual cycle, women become more sensitive to specific traits. Physical confidence, calm movement, a relaxed posture, steady eye contact, a grounded voice, emotional control, and clear direction suddenly feel more attractive. During other phases, the brain shifts focus. Safety, kindness, stability, familiarity, and emotional comfort take priority instead. Nothing external has changed. The man has not changed. What changes is the internal filter through which he is being experienced. What makes this especially confusing is that this evaluation happens without conscious thought. A woman does not sit down and logically decide what she wants on a given day. The reaction forms before reasoning begins. Ancient parts of the brain, designed long before modern society, make quick judgments based on patterns tied to survival and reproduction. Only afterward does the rational mind step in to explain the feeling. This is why explanations often sound vague or unclear. I just don't feel it anymore. Something feels off. These are not excuses. They are honest descriptions of an instinctive shift that happened beneath awareness. This understanding explains one of the most frustrating experiences many men face: why being consistent does not always lead to consistent results. A man can be respectful, attentive, emotionally aware, and engaging, yet still experience sudden drops in interest. He assumes attraction must be maintained through constant effort. But effort alone does not control biology. Attraction is not a contract you secure forever. It naturally moves. Where many men struggle is not when attraction fades, but how they respond to it. When interest is high, they feel confident and relaxed. When it drops, they panic. They start overthinking. They look for reassurance. They send longer messages. They explain themselves. They try harder. Unfortunately, this reaction often sends the opposite signal of what they intend. The subconscious mind reads this shift as tension, neediness, or emotional instability. During a phase when attraction is already biologically reduced, this behavior further weakens desire. Men who do well over time respond very differently. They do not allow every change in interest to control their emotional state. They do not chase emotional highs, buy-in, or collapse during lows. Instead, they remain steady. Their mood, direction, and sense of self do not depend on immediate feedback. This steadiness becomes a signal in itself. Across cultures and studies, emotional stability consistently appears as an attractive trait. A man who stays calm under uncertainty communicates confidence without saying a word. He shows that his sense of worth does not rise and fall based on attention. This quiet self-assurance is deeply felt, even when it is not consciously noticed. The difference is subtle but powerful. Reactive men let her interest decide how they behave. Grounded men let their behavior stay the same regardless of her fluctuations. One approach creates emotional chaos. The other creates trust, safety, and long-term attraction. This does not mean becoming cold or distant. It does not mean ignoring emotions. It means self-control. It means understanding that desire is not a measure of your value, but a temporary alignment of biology and perception. When a man stops treating every shift in interest as a crisis, something changes naturally. His body relaxes, his voice becomes calmer, his movements slow down. His actions feel intentional instead of desperate. He may not notice these changes, but the subconscious mind observing him does. Attraction is not a reward for being nice or trying hard. It is a response to signals. These signals are always present: how you move, how you speak, how you handle silence, how you react when things are uncertain, how comfortable you are without approval. Even tiny behaviors matter. Hesitation, rushing, tension, over-explaining. These small signals are registered instantly without conscious thought. When men understand this, dating stops feeling random and cruel. They realize why trying harder often makes things worse, why seeking reassurance pushes people away, why confidence cannot be faked for long, and why some men appear effortlessly attractive, not because they are perfect, but because they are not fighting forces they don't understand. The deeper lesson here is not about control or manipulation. It is about alignment. Men who succeed long-term learn to manage themselves instead of chasing reactions. They build inner stability. Over time, this consistency compounds. When biological timing aligns again, and it always does, the man who remained steady is seen as stronger and more attractive than the one who panicked and performed. For those unaware of this hidden flow, dating feels unfair and personal. Rejection feels like judgment. Confusion feels endless. For those who understand it, patterns emerge. Calm replaces anxiety. The question changes from "what did I do wrong" to How do I stay grounded no matter the outcome? The men who master attraction are rarely the loudest or most accommodating. They are the ones who do not lose themselves when interest fades. They move at their own pace. They allow desire to rise and fall naturally, and in doing so, they send the strongest signal of all, without forcing, without explaining, and without asking for permission. This is the hidden flow of attraction. Ignore it, and dating will always feel like a battle you cannot win. Understand it, and attraction stops being something you chase. It becomes something that appears naturally when presence, timing, and biology quietly align. Chapter 2: The Unseen Scorecard. Before a single word is spoken, before jokes, stories, or introductions begin, something important is already happening. An evaluation is taking place, but not the kind most men expect. It has nothing to do with your job title, your money, your clothes, or how clever you sound. What is being noticed lives beneath the surface. Your body is speaking first: how you stand, how relaxed your shoulders are, how slowly or quickly you move, whether your eyes are steady or searching. Even the quiet pauses between movements send information. While your mind is busy choosing words, her nervous system is already forming an impression. This process is automatic. It does not involve logic or conscious choice. Her body is reading your signals before her mind forms opinions. Attraction begins here, long before thought enters the picture. One of the most common ways men unknowingly weaken attraction is through hidden need. This is not obvious desperation. It is subtle. It shows up as adjusting yourself to be liked, holding back opinions to avoid conflict, waiting for permission before acting, or constantly checking reactions. These behaviors leak insecurity through tone, posture, and timing. The message sent is not interest or care. The message is dependence. She does not consciously think, "This man is insecure." There is no clear explanation in her mind. The shift simply happens. Interest fades, attention drifts, engagement feels forced. Her brain, built to detect balance and strength, has sensed that the man is leaning toward her for validation instead of standing firmly on his own. Studies from many different cultures reveal the same pattern. No matter the country, tradition, or belief system, women tend to respond to similar core signals. They are drawn to signs of capability, the ability to handle challenges, stay calm under pressure, and manage life without falling apart. They notice signs of long-term reliability, the ability to invest energy and commitment when it truly matters, and they respond to signs of physical and emotional health that suggest strength and stability. These traits are not measured by words or claims. They are felt through behavior: how a man reacts when plans change, how he handles silence, how he responds to disappointment, how comfortable he is when nothing is happening. A man can say he is confident, but if his body shows tension, hesitation, or need, the body tells the truth. Modern research shows just how deep this communication goes. Studies suggest that women can sense hormonal and biological cues through smell alone, picking up on signals related to vitality and dominance without realizing it. This means attraction is not limited to what is seen or heard. Information is being exchanged on levels that bypass awareness. Some men benefit from this without knowing why. It is not because they are better on paper, it is because their inner state is calm, organized, and self-directed. They are not trying to prove their value, they assume it. This leads to an important truth that many men misunderstand. Giving too much too soon often reduces attraction. When a man quickly places a woman at the center of his emotional world, it does not create safety, it removes desire. Constant availability, excessive reassurance, and immediate prioritization remove tension from the interaction. Attraction needs space to breathe. When everything is guaranteed, curiosity disappears. When attention is unlimited, it loses meaning. This does not mean playing games or withholding kindness. It means having a full life, clear direction, and emotional stability that does not depend on being chosen. A man who feels complete invites interest. A man who is looking to be completed pushes it away. Before approaching a woman, the most important question is internal. Are you trying to get something, or are you sharing something? This single difference changes everything. Approaching to get approval, validation, or reassurance sends a signal of scarcity. It places her above you and turns the interaction into a quiet test you are trying to pass. Approaching to share your presence, humor, perspective, and calm signals abundance. It communicates without words, "I am okay no matter how this turns out." Women sense this immediately. It is not a choice, it is a feeling. One man feels heavy, tense, and emotionally demanding. Another feels relaxed, steady, and self-contained. The second creates both comfort and curiosity at the same time. Every interaction quietly reveals this difference. You can say all the right things and still fail if your energy contradicts your words. You can say very little and succeed if your presence is calm and natural. Attraction responds to alignment, when your inner state matches your outer behavior. When they don't match, the inconsistency is felt even if it cannot be explained. This understanding changes how dating works. The focus shifts from "how do I impress her" to "what state am I in?" When you prioritize your inner stability, your calm, direction, and independence, you stop performing. You stop trying to manage reactions. You simply show up. Ironically, this is what makes you attractive. Men who seem naturally magnetic are usually not trying harder. They care less about outcomes. Their self-worth does not depend on interest received. They listen without leaning forward. They speak without rushing. They remain centered whether the interaction grows or ends. This steadiness is rare, and rarity creates value. Attraction is not built through tricks or persuasion. It emerges when a man's inner world is ordered and complete. From that place, his movements slow, his voice settles, and his reactions soften. He becomes reliable to himself and interesting to others. Women respond to this automatically because it signals something ancient and reassuring. This man is not searching for balance, he already has it. In the end, what you communicate without words matters more than anything you say. Every pause, glance, and movement reveals whether you are acting from lack or fullness, dependence or independence. These signals are always being sent, and women are always receiving them. So the real question is not how to change her feelings, it is how to align your own state. Are you showing up as someone who needs connection to feel whole, or as someone already whole who is open to connection? One position weakens attraction, the other creates it naturally. This is the unseen scorecard running beneath every interaction. Mastery does not come from control or strategy, but from self-mastery. When that is in place, attraction stops feeling confusing. It becomes a natural response to who you are, not something you have to chase. Chapter 3. Letting go of the safe excuses. Rejection alone is not what holds most men back. What causes real damage is what happens afterward. Quiet stories form in the mind to soften the blow. Stories like, "She only wants rich men, women don't like kind guys," or "I was just too real for her." These thoughts feel comforting. They protect the ego, they make disappointment easier to live with, but they also quietly freeze growth. When these explanations become habits, responsibility slowly disappears. Every rejection becomes proof that nothing could have been done differently. Over time, this mindset turns effort into resentment and curiosity into blame. And once that happens, improvement stops completely. The uncomfortable truth is this: when rejection keeps repeating, it is not bad luck, it is not timing, and it is not the world targeting you unfairly. Patterns do not form without cause. Something is being communicated, often without words, that lowers attraction before a real connection can even begin. Research into attraction shows this clearly. In real-life environments where desire is honest and unfiltered, results change even when people believe they are acting the same. What actually shifts are the invisible signals: emotional tone, presence, confidence, tension, and inner stability. These cues are picked up instantly and instinctively. Attraction does not increase because someone tries harder. It increases because their inner state feels grounded, calm, and self-directed. This leads to a realization many men resist. Desire cannot be earned through performance. You do not build attraction by stacking achievements, rehearsing behaviors, or presenting a polished image. Attraction comes from impact, how someone feels around you. Psychological studies consistently show that emotional experience matters more than looks, money, or intelligence in early attraction. A man can seem impressive on paper and still be forgettable. Another can appear average and leave a lasting impression. The difference is presence. Men who attract consistently do not operate from urgency. They do not rush to lock in interest. They do not feel pressured to prove themselves. They allow interactions to unfold naturally. Their lives do not suddenly revolve around one person's attention. This is not a trick, it is structure. Their sense of direction existed before the interaction began. They are already moving somewhere in life. That stability is felt immediately, without explanation. Real change begins with honest self-observation, not criticism, awareness. Listen to your voice. Does it weaken when you want approval, or does it stay steady? Watch your body. Do you tense up when uncertainty appears, or do you stay relaxed and still? Notice your emotions. Does attention lift you up and distance crush you, or do you remain balanced either way? These reactions communicate more about your perceived value than anything you say. When you start observing without excuses, rejection changes meaning. It stops feeling like judgment and starts feeling like information. Each outcome points to a mismatch in signals, not a flaw in who you are, but a pattern that can be corrected. This shift alone removes the victim mindset. You stop waiting to be chosen. You start refining what you project. Attraction reflects internal order. When your emotional center is stable, your presence carries weight. When you stop chasing validation, insecurity fades naturally. This has nothing to do with being cold or dominant. It is about self-control. The ability to remain calm regardless of outcome is one of the strongest signals a man can send, and one of the rarest. Developing this changes more than dating. It changes how you live. You stop giving others control over your self-worth. You stop bargaining for attention. You act from clarity instead of fear. Attraction, when it appears, feels less chaotic and more natural. Final section: understanding the game as it is. The goal of breaking attraction down to its basics is not to shock or offend. It is to see clearly. When fantasy, romance, and social myths are stripped away, what remains are patterns that do not lie. Desire responds to signals, always has, always will. Attraction is not decided by logic. It is activated by biology and psychology responding to what you consistently express, how you stand, how you move, how you speak, how you manage emotion. These are not small details. They are your real resume. Long ago, psychologist Carl Jung said that what we are unaware of ends up controlling our lives while we call it fate. Attraction works the same way. Until you understand what you are projecting, outcomes will feel mysterious. You will blame luck, timing, or other people, and you will wait for change without changing anything. But you are already part of a system. Every interaction places you somewhere within it, not through what you say, but through how you show up. The world does not respond to intention. It responds to clarity and consistency. Information alone will not change results. Awareness must become action. Insight must turn into discipline. Replace emotional reactions with calm control. Replace seeking approval with self-ownership. Apply what you notice instead of arguing with it. Reaching this understanding already puts you ahead of most people. Many choose comforting stories over uncomfortable truth, but clarity creates power. Knowing how attraction works does not guarantee success, but ignoring it guarantees repetition. This is not about shortcuts or manipulation. It is about alignment between your inner state and your outer behavior. When those match, attraction stops feeling random. It becomes a natural result of structure, not luck. The knowledge is now yours. What happens next depends entirely on what you choose to embody.